Hello and welcome to Hookah Unlimited. Today we're going to be going over bowl styles. Now this is an important video for you guys because the bowls themselves determine how your session is going to progress regardless of what tobacco you use, regardless of what hookah you're using, HMD, coals, how you're packing it, etc, etc, etc. The right bowl will really help you accentuate your session, and when it's paired with the right shisha, really gets you to experience the full potential of the given brand that you're trying to smoke. For you guys today, we have 4 different categories of bowls that I've hand selected for this purpose. We got classic bowls, funnel bowls, vortex bowls, and crazy hybrids that people are trying really hard to do something different with. But for the purposes of this video, let's start with the classic bowls, also known as traditional bowls, also known as Egyptian bowls, Turkish bowls, Syrian bowls. The one that I really want to talk about is the Egyptian bowl. Now, the Egyptian bowl is an iconic bowl because most of you guys have this, especially if you're in the United States, because they came with your KM hookah or any Egyptian hookah. They usually came paired for free, bundled with your setup, and everybody just has one because it works, and it works perfectly fine. Specific characteristics that define an Egyptian bowl is usually a brown glaze over a brown clay material with either 4 or 5 or 6 holes at the very center of the bowl. And also there's 2 major styles of Egyptian bowls. One where the internal curvature of the bowl shape has a nice, fair slant. The other kind, and kind of just dips on an angle and straight down. So there are 2 major kinds of Egyptian bowls. Both are considered Egyptian bowls, and that general style is considered Egyptian because the Egyptians were the first to develop this type of bowl and use it as standard. Okay. Side by side to the Egyptian bowl is the Turkish bowl, and a close sister to the Turkish bowl is the Syrian bowl. The Syrian bowl is shaped very similarly to the Turkish bowl, and it has a similar clay material, usually a unglazed kind of chalky bowl material. It has a similar internal hole pattern as an Egyptian bowl, about 4 or 5 holes at the very bottom. The difference between Turkish/Syrian bowls and the Egyptian bowl is that usually these bowls are a lot smaller as far as the circumference of the rim of the bowl is concerned, and also they're a lot deeper and narrower in the curvature of the inside of the bowl. Where Turkish bowls tend to be shaped like this, Syrian bowls have usually a straighter shape, and they're also a male insert, meaning the bowl port on Syrian hookahs for the purposes of traditional smoking and whatnot were female, so the bowl would be inserted into the bowl port. Moving on, the progression and the evolution of classic bowl styles like the Turkish and the Egyptian bowls has resulted in what we call Russian classic bowls today. I don't know why Russians love to call them classic bowls, because most of the time Russian bowls are shaped exactly like an Egyptian bowl. Usually about the same size too. It's very evident that the inspiration was derived from the Egyptian bowl style. The difference and the advantage of using a Russian classic bowl, the advantage of these are simply the fact that they're usually made a little more consistently. They have fewer blemishes, fewer faults, fewer issues. The clay material that they use is very heat resilient, allowing you to kind of blast it with extra heat and have very little issues regarding flavor and burning the tobacco. None of that tends to happen with Russian classic bowls. But the shape, the internal bowl curvature, the type is definitely an Egyptian bowl family. Moving on to funnel bowls. Funnel bowls were invented by Tangiers. They were the first to use this method, and they are far superior to the classic type of bowl, mostly because unlike classic bowls, they use a raised spire at the center of the bowl. And what this is it's basically a single hole that's been raised up closer to the rim line, for the sake of allowing you 2 different advantages. Number 1, the main advantage is the fact that you can actually go ahead and pack this at any density as you want, giving you more freedom to explore and experiment with different pack methods and density levels. This is, for example, a Tangiers large bowl, and in front of it is the Tangiers small bowl. And if you could visually see the difference between a large and a small, it's right here for you guys. There's a vast difference. The small is not as small as you might think. It holds about 22 grams of tobacco at a dense pack, whereas The Tangier is large, as you can imagine, holds well over 100 up to 120 grams at a dense pack. Since the invention of the funnel bowls and the evolution of bowls that Tangier's introduced, there's been other brands to come to take the funnel bowl style and come out with their iterations of the funnel. The alpaca line of bowls is actually very special. They're highly recommended, and the first style that they introduced is the Rook style bowl, where they took a classic funnel bowl, if you could compare the two. They opened up the spire so that you get a little more airflow, and another advantageous thing that they did was definitely embed these grooves on the end of the spire, making it look like the rook of a chess piece, which allows you to increase airflow and have generally better and smoother sessions all around. The shape is ideal for a lot of different brands, so Mini Rook is constantly recommended as a versatile bowl that you could use with almost anything. They've also created the bridged spire. What bridged spires do is make sure that there's always a space between the tip of the spire of the bowl and the rim line, making sure that no matter how you've foiled your bowl, so long as it's reasonably tight, you're going to have a successful session. Another advancement Alpaca has introduced to the market is the Apache bowl, and what I call the diffused spire. It's still a spire, it's still a funnel bowl, except it has a cap over it and there's multiple little tiny holes inside the center of the spire instead of on the very bottom or just one large one in the middle. It's kind of like taking a note from the older Egyptian bowl style hole patterns, except incorporating into a superior bowl shape so that you could have better sessions and not be limited regarding pack method and whatnot, especially if you need to dense pack or do anything special or particular with the density level for your given tobacco brand. By the way, guys, Alpaca went ahead and sent me this incredible pair of alpaca pants. I want you guys to check it out real quick. And that's what these guys look like. Got your alpaca little puff balls over here, and they're actually quite nice, and I really like them, and they're incredibly comfortable. And the best thing about them is that they are made of alpaca fur. You could go ahead and check them out at alpacabowls.com. They cost about $130, but in the description, we're going to be working on a discount code with Hookah Unlimited and Alpaca Bowls so that you guys can get it a little bit less, and just keep your eyes peeled in the description below. Some years ago, Sahara Smoke introduced what's called the Vortex Bowl. A Vortex Bowl takes the concept of a funnel, except caps the top, and instead puts holes all around the side of the spire inside the bowl itself. Sahara Smoke was the first to invent this style and introduce it onto the market, and then Starbucks came in with a really great one. And a couple of years ago, Sahara Smoke even released a handmade, hand-spun clay version of their Vortex Bowl, which some old school fans really appreciated and loved. But in general, Vortex Bowls are made of porcelain, and they're usually out of a mold, slip cast, making them a little bit cheaper and easier to buy, but at the same time lower quality and issues. One such example is this Chinese mod Vortex Bowl. As you can see, there's it's a raised spire capped at the top and holes all around the center of it. The evolution of Vortex Bowls has basically ended at the release of the Sahara Smoke's hand-spun Vortex, where they used stoneware clay, is what I recall them advertising. But there was another variant of the Vortex Bowl that didn't really get too much attention in the online hookah enthusiast community, and that's the HJ, what did you call this one? The Flying Saucer Bowl. The HJ Flying Saucer Bowl is a very unique and particular inspired Vortex Bowl, because in this design they decided to raise the spire with a cap on top and holes all around the edge of the spire. The particular thing about this bowl, however, is the fact that the designer chose to raise the spire above the rim line, so when you're actually foiling the bowl, mind you, you're never going to be able to use this with any heat management device, but when you're foiling the bowl, what it does is create a slant on the foil as you wrap it down, and that basically just causes your hole fall off. Go figure. We have this very particular unique bowl. It's very large, but it's not as large on the inside as it looks on the outside. Basically, what you have here is a sort of a hybrid attempt at a funnel slash classic bowl, where they've basically created a spire with grooves around it, and they've implemented a dip inside the spire similar to an Apache, but because there's a space over here, it's more like, you know, something like a Turkish bowl, except much tinier, where it allows you to basically pack a bowl, your tobacco on the outskirts of the bowl however you want, but you could also pack it the inside or leave it empty based on what you choose to do. And this is just the industry's attempt to get creative and offer you guys something different, maybe something unique, so that you could post on Instagram. But regarding the actual usability of this, it's not as efficient or proficient or you know, exceptional as basically any of these bowls are. Other than that, guys, that's about it for my introduction to bowl styles, and these are all the major types of bowls that you need to know about, so that you could you know, accentuate your hookah session and understand what you're pairing with what tobacco, and having better and more elevated sessions all around. All right, guys, if you like this video, if you like what I'm doing for you guys, please subscribe, comment, throw me a like, share the video, and catch me on Facebook at Hookah Unlimited, the Facebook group. Catch me on the Hookah Unlimited Discord, and definitely say hi to me on Instagram anytime you want. All right, guys, that's it for today. Have a good one. Deuces. Take care.